My 11 Circle presents Crick Buzz Live. Well, there you have it. We were trying to figure out a range of where Delhi, after winning the toss, would get to. And we pretty much nailed it because it was the range was from the lower to the upper, and they finished somewhere in between. So before we come to that, let's quickly remind you of where it finished. 162, which could be something that you turn around and say, is it enough? That's the question we're going to try and answer in the next few minutes. Shikhar Dhawan, 69 of 52, finding form at just the right time for the Delhi franchise. Shreyas Iyer, captain's hand, just got out at the wrong time, as did Marcus Stoinis, who looked like he could finish big and take them to about 175. Michael Vaughan, Joy Bhattacharya in the studio. Joy, I'll come to you first. Had Marcus Stoinis stayed around for a few more balls, it would have been Michael we would have been congratulating.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think Stoinis just got out at the wrong time. But if you look at that, he turned around and had a look itself. They talk about the striker running first, calling if the ball is ahead of the stumps. He did call. When it's a second run like that, and there's this old saying, and it's probably not true anymore in the IPL, that never run on a misfield because you don't know exactly how much time he'll take to recover. And he did have a look himself. I don't know what made him go for it, and it was just too late. But yeah, that probably costs them because, any batsman coming onto these kind of pitches will take 4 or 5 balls to adjust. So it's probably another 10-12 runs out there that they lost because of Stoinis' unfortunate early dismissal on that run out.
I was trying to find a Gabbar reference to him being sold a dummy, but maybe I'll give you a few minutes to think of that one and we'll come up with it, Michael. Where your first reaction? How do you rate the score?
I think it's a 50-50 game. I think Delhi will be happy to have got to that score. They probably feel maybe they could have got 10 more. If Stoinis, as we've just spoken about, had stayed there, probably would have got them to that 170 plus target. Mumbai, I'm congratulating them hugely because the most important aspect for me is they bowled their overs inside an hour and 40 minutes. That's remarkable. IPL, so they get a big thumbs up from me. No, I think Mumbai will be quite happy to chase that kind of target. They'll know that it's going to take probably one big partnership or 2 nice partnerships. It'll probably take a top order player to hang around like Shikhar Dhawan has done. I thought he played with great skill, knocking it into the gaps for 2s. He got the boundaries at the right time. He probably feels he could have got up into one more gear. He probably could have gone one more and gone to about a 150 strike rate towards the end. He ended up with a strike rate of 132. But, if your opening batsman bats through and he faces 52 balls for 69 not out and a few little cameos around them, you end up with pretty much a par score, and that's exactly what they've got.
Fair point from Michael Joy. I mean, in isolation, you would probably say that maybe a few short from Shikhar Dhawan's point of view. But if you see the kind of form he's in, Delhi will be happy that he's got what he's got.
No, it's important that Shikhar gets going because for their top 4 to strike, all the other 3 have got going. So Shikhar getting going is good news for them. That means everyone's got at least one big innings under their belt. I think the crucial thing in this match, what we are talking about, is Mumbai's death bowling. On the 15th over, they went for 16 runs. But after that, their last 4 overs, just 35 runs. And that's one thing that, we've been talking about in this, that somehow teams have leaked at the death. We saw the previous match, what happens in the death for both teams. Look at this now. 10.2 is something, and that 10.2 is actually because of a Trent Bolt getting hammered in 1 over. That 14 that Trent Bolt gave in the 15th over. And after that, it's 35 runs. And I thought it was a clinical performance. Brilliant is not the right to use. Clinical performance. They know what to do with in the death. And that's going to be important because at 162 now, they look at exactly as Michael saying and say, one big partnership.
Yeah, it's one of those games, Michael, where unlike the previous game where, Rajasthan were clinging on for dear life and the points meant the world to them. Here, it's as much about the points as it also is about for the later stages. So you look at the batting, you look at the bowling, see if you're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah, and it's important for individuals to just win their battles because I'm pretty sure this combination will potentially meet again towards the back end of the tournament. And you want to get your one-upmanship on a bowler or a bowler on a batsman. So it's important individually that you win your battles. You know exactly the battles that you're up against when you're walking out to bat or when you're out into the field. I think Delhi will be quietly confident. They've been magnificent with the ball. Those 2 quicks from South Africa, Rabada and Nokia, have been as good as any combination. And then you've got Ashwin and you've got Axar Patel, who has been remarkable, the left-arm spinner. And Ricky Ponting, you just know that he'll be in that dressing room saying, look, just basics. cover the basics, squeeze in the field, operate as a well-oiled unit like they have been. They defended nicely against the Rajasthan Royals in Sharjah on a pitch that probably did a bit more than everyone expected. And he'll quietly fancy his chances of defending this as well.
A quick word from both of you on the Mumbai bowling. Joy, you've briefly touched upon it. What's the kind of report card that they'll get? Because from Bumrah's point of view, yes, he was good, he was excellent, but maybe in that last spell, they would have wanted a couple of wickets out of him to squeeze it even more.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, he did his job. You don't get wickets every day, but 26. I mean, 26 and 4 is something you take every time. I think Patterson was a bit expensive, and I blame it completely on his hairstyle. I mean, you cannot have a hairstyle like that and expect to bowl properly. I mean, he would be distracted just by the dirty looks everyone would be giving him. But yeah, Patterson was. I think it's interesting that they didn't use Pollard for more. They used him for just 1 over. That means that they still want to keep him bowling, but they're not sure he's really up to speed. They probably think that as the tournament goes on, the pitches get slower, he'll need to bowl more and more. But I think those were the weak points. The rest of them actually did their job. I thought Chahar was brilliant. I mean, to bowl 27 for a leggy when they're clearly looking to collar him, he bowled really well, because time and again, you know, you could see that Shikhar Dhawan was trying to go after him, and he just somehow managed to not give away those big runs.
Quick one before we come to the Delhi bowling, and it's actually evolved the way I thought it would, so it leads to my next question. Every time Mumbai play, we talk about the top guys, we talk about Bumrah, we talk about Chahar. Somehow we never mention Krunal Pandya, even though he quietly slips in there, takes his wickets, decent economy. It's one of those unnoticed performances, but he does it every time, Michael.
Yeah, 2 spinners, the economy under 7s, that's magnificent in T20 cricket. And that's what Delhi will be looking at. The likes of Ashwin and Patel will look at the spinners and think, wait a minute, this is a pitch that we'd like to bowl a little bit of the slow stuff on. Krunal Pandya is an outstanding cricketer. You know, he's great in the field. He's got that presence of real strong attitude. Obviously gives it a whack with the bat. He's had some nice cameo innings with the bat in hand in this year's IPL. And he's the kind of cricketer that all captains, coaches would want in the team, because he covers all bases. He can field in plenty of different positions. He bowls at different times in the innings. He's not just a one-trick pony. And with the bat in hand, you know that he can clear the road. So he's the perfect T20 player.
Yeah, he's even started to try the Kedar Jadhav under sea level type of ball once or twice. But let's come to the bowling that we are going to witness right now. You briefly mentioned it, Rabada and Nokia, and they've been outstanding in the tournament so far. Nokia with sheer raw pace, Rabada with his experience, and this is the impact they've had so far in the tournament. And with this kind of a total, you'd really be looking for these 2 guys to come and put on a performance like they have in previous games. Look at that impact, wickets, economy, good combination of both.
No, absolutely. And I think the important thing to remember out here is the pace at which they're bowling. You know, somebody talked about an NBA game at one time and said you can't coach height. And exactly the same, you can't coach raw pace. You either have to have it or you're not. You're going to develop it a bit, you may get 5-10. But that's why I feel the most important part of this match is going to be the opening. Because the 2 class international batsmen, Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock, have to get runs off these guys. You know, I'm telling you one thing, you know, Surya Kumar Yadav is a great player, Ishan Kishan is a great player, Hardik Pandya, they're all good players. But none of them will fancy facing 145. I can tell you that. I mean, if there's anyone technically equipped to do that, even Pollard is not a huge fan of the fast stuff. So it's really Rohit and Quinton. One of them gets going, they're the guys who are going to face this attack, because it's the toughest attack in the IPL. I honestly feel that.
I mean, it's a toss-up for me. Who out of Rabada and Jasprit Bumrah is the best bowler in the world across all the formats? You know, you could add Pat into that group, Jofra Archer, but I think across 3 different formats, Rabada and Jasprit Bumrah are just a little bit ahead, because they bowl brilliantly in T20, 50 over and Test match cricket. If I say Bumrah's still the best, but Rabada's really given him a close race. You know, Rabada this year has been absolutely magnificent.
And obviously, if you see them going head to head, you've just seen them playing against each other. Rabada's looked at Bumrah and said, okay, no wickets for you, well bowled, but I'm going to get 1 over you. So just coming to what Joy said, Michael, I'll get your take on it. With the likes of Rohit Sharma, Quinton de Kock coming out there looking to find some form, and he has in the previous game, what do you think their approach is going to be, particularly in the power play with a total like this?
Well, they'll play the natural games. They always do. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a bit of Ashwin. to Quinton de Kock early in the power play. Quinton and Rohit generally like pace onto the ball. Axar Patel was used brilliantly in the power play 2 games ago. So they've got great combinations, Delhi. They can throw a left-arm spinner, an off spinner. They've got the paces. They can go aggressive. Will they want to store a little bit of that pace over style for the likes of Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya, and Kieran Pollard later on in the 20 overs? That's what teams have generally started to do, is leave a bit of pace for the likes of Pollard and co. But I believe you get the first punch in. And the first punch is by getting a couple of early wickets in the power play. So I'd be throwing the paces with a little bit of maybe Ashwin to Quinton de Kock in the first 3 overs.
And just one little point to finish with. I mentioned the other day about a team like Punjab who almost forgotten how it is to win, and therefore they lose their way. Here you've got 2 teams, both of whom know how to win, which is what makes this a more fascinating battle. So both sides won't be afraid to go out and express themselves, Joy.
Yeah, except I don't choose go out and express themselves. Please, it's like, actioning our plans and we executed. Please, expressing yourself. I mean, please. Other than that, absolutely. I think it's a terrific game. I think they'll all go for it. But I really genuinely feel exactly that. It's that 2-class batsmen, because if I feel that if the Mumbai middle order is faced with the pace of what Rabada and Nortje can throw at them, it's not going to be easy for them. So that
I wrap myself on the head with a remote control. So duly noted, Joy. Those phrases have to be tossed out the window. I'll zap myself if I can. Michael, final one for you. I can't tell you which color you're going to choose because they're both blue and they're very similar shades of blue. So very simply, at this stage, which side are you leaning towards, the north of the country or towards the far west?
Well, I went with the team that had runs on the board in the first game, so I'm going the opposite. I'm going for the chasing team. I think Mumbai will just get over the line.
Says the man from the north of England. Fair enough. So geography has nothing to do with this as far as England and India are concerned. Joy, are you still going with the chasing team here?
Yeah, I think if Delhi get a wicket in the first, if they can get a couple of wickets in the first 6, they're favourites for me, because that attack is one of the wiliest and canniest attacks I've seen in this IPL. Fair
enough. So you're sticking to geography, just across the border. You're not going to say anything that might annoy somebody who might just be about a kilometer away. Fair enough. I'm also going to lean towards it. I'm not sitting there at the moment, but I'm also leaning towards Delhi at the moment. Good start from Mumbai, but that class of the attack, Rabada, Nortje, it's good to be on different sides. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Joy. We'll see you all. We'll try and assess where things stand on Crickbuzz Combox in the 10th over. It's a double-header day. So much to talk about and 2 matches to discuss when we come back at the very end. My 11 Circle presents Crickbuzz Live.